Hey everybody, it's Marshall Mike here. This is my Girl Meets World Season 3, Episode 10 review. I guess it would be this way because it's reflection? I don't know. This is my Girl Meets World Season 3, Episode 10 review and rundown. Let us get started. So this episode of Girl Meets World, I was feeling very conflicted about it. I gave Girl Meets World, Girl Meets Ski Lodge Part 2 a huge, great review. You guys, I basically praised that episode because it was so good. You guys can go check out that review. But this episode of Girl Meets World, I just wasn't feeling it. It just did not do it for me until the very end. The very end, I was sold, but throughout the episode, there was tons of problems. So many problems that I take back half of what I said in my other review about it maybe even going on to a Season 5. I talked about basically saying that Girl Meets World, if it continues to write episodes like Girl Meets Ski Lodge Part 2, then it can honestly stay, it could probably break the Season 5 barrier on Disney Channel, or at least get moved to Freeform for those people who do want that to happen. But anyway, so that was what I said about my review for that episode, so go check it out. It just can't happen. I think that this episode just didn't do it for me. There was lots of problems, lots of things wrong with the episode, tons of writing flaws, and I didn't like it. So let's get started with what I didn't like about this episode, and then we'll talk about the great things. So first of all, number one, what I didn't like about this episode is it felt very staged. This episode felt very staged and forcing the idea that Maya can't have hope. And I understand, because that's Maya's personality, that's her character. But she does it every episode of every season, and it gets to be really negative. You know, why can't Maya just deal with what's going on and go with what's actually happening? I mean, I guess it's because, again, like I said, it is her personality. It's who we've been seeing for the past 2 years, now for this next third season. So I understand, but at the same time, it's kind of frustrating because it just gets really old. It gets very repetitive, and they don't do anything to revive it or make it fresh. It just seems very forced, especially in this episode. And I kind of got tired of it. I kind of wanted Maya to actually exit permanently. In fact. And that's not good because Sabrina Carpenter is amazing, and I love Maya. I love the character, so it's kind of hard for me to kind of get behind her at this point when it feels forced and when her character feels out of place. Because again, even though it was this whole storyline of this episode, it just wasn't good enough. And then maybe this could have been a two-parter. I feel like this was also maybe time-wise not the best because it was like what do they call it? You know, one of those weddings where it's not really a wedding, but like it's just like boom, like wedding. You know what I mean? Like it's not like it's like one of those small weddings that you have. It's like, you know, if it was a real wedding, that would have been more exciting. So because then it could have been like a 2 or 3 parter. And instead of, you know, and they focused too much again. They forced Maya so much in this episode that they couldn't focus on the great things about a wedding, you know, or having an actual wedding, and just having one on top of the roof. So I feel like that was kind of like the consequence of forcing Maya this episode was roof wedding. And I did not like that one bit. So that was just awful. I mean, that was just horrible. That they forced Maya and that they had to, in consequence, have a roof wedding and they didn't get to do anything that symbolizes an actual wedding. So that's just my opinion. But again, Maya bottom of the list for my favorite characters this episode. That's unfortunate, I know, but it is what it is. And if you guys agree with me, please comment down below. Because I think that, you know, you might agree with me. And then also the thing about Maya being forced this episode is that Riley didn't even seem relevant throughout the whole thing. I mean, obviously she was like somewhat relevant, but it was like, you know, because again, it's so repetitive. You feel as if Riley isn't. Sorry about. Hold on, give me 1 second. I have never had that happen before. I am so sorry, guys. And I'm not editing that out. But anyway, like I said, we've been used to Maya going through this whole process and being repetitive that it ends up making Riley seem irrelevant at some degree. Again, she is somewhat relevant because obviously it's basically like Riley and Maya's show, Rowan and Sabrina's show, but in terms of relevance to the episode, there's barely any there. You know what I mean? Because we've been going through this the whole time, so it just did not like that. Riley was also bottom character. I feel like Shaun was a really great character this episode. If I had to pick leading characters, I'd pick like Shaun and Katie, because obviously this is their episode. But, you know, even though it's their episode, you expect the leading characters to always be Maya and Riley. So, unfortunately, that was not the case. Both characters were treated really poorly this episode. Hopefully next time we get a good deal, right? Alright. But that's what I did not like about the episode. And also, Augie and Ava, can we get rid of them? No, I did love one joke with Augie and Ava towards the end where Ava's like, "Who's that?" And then like Augie's like, "Mr. Feeney." She's like, "Who is it?" And then he's like, "I think he's my grandpa." And I just love that. I just laughed so hard at that. But then when they were like, Ava was like, "This reminds me of our wedding," and Augie's like, "I know, but we have to give it to them now." It's like, just cut that out. Like, just stop. I think that Ava is such an annoying character. Augie was really ruined this season. I feel like Augie this season is just, it's no go. I feel like I just hate those characters so much right now. I don't know what to do with them. And it's no offense to the actors at all. It's the writing that, for the, I don't know. It's just the writing that they've been leading up to. Because, I was one of the people that liked Ava bursting in season 1, or I think, like, it was season 1, right? Season 1 or 2 or whatever. I liked that. I liked when Ava burst in at that time, because, I don't know, it's something about, like, they're younger. I don't know. It was, like, weird. I don't know. There's some reason. I just can't think of it. But now, this season, for some odd reason, I just don't want them there. I just don't want them in any episode at all, because they just ruin everything they're in. Unless, now here's what I've been saying, unless they fix the side stories. Because, when Augie, like, take Augie to school. Like, have a parent-teacher conference with Topanga. Or have, like, Augie go to the park. Or have Augie do something with Augie, rather than the same apartment, the same side stories. Usually they're, like, similar. Ava's always bursting in. Like, it's not good. It's not good at all. It's just, I don't like it. It's just horrible. So, I didn't like Augie and Ava this episode either. Mr. Feeney made a cameo, of course. I love Mr. Feeney. I always welcome him, whenever. So that was great. We got a cameo from him. And then last but not least, my favorite thing about this episode was the wedding. Again, like I said, the episode seemed very staged throughout the whole episode until it hit the actual wedding. Then it got better. Then Maya and Riley got a little bit better with the emotional stuff because Sabrina and Rowan do so good with that. Mr. Feeney, of course, cameoing and marrying Katie and Shaun was really nice. I like Shaun and Katie quite a bit in that scene. Corey had some great moments throughout the whole episode, but I feel like, again, during the end, it was just really great. On top of it, on point. Topanga, I don't know, something about, again, Topanga also seemed very forced, too, throughout the episode, like, especially at the I guess, bakery, Topanga's, when she was talking to Katie, doing all that magazine quiz. It was like, it's kind of forced. But I'm going to let it slide because Topanga's such a cool character. So Topanga was pretty good by the end of the episode. So everyone was pretty much at a good note. But another thing that was good this episode was time management. And I feel like that's because there was no Farkle, no Lucas, no Zay, no Smackle. And I understand why they're not in this episode, but it's like at least Lucas and Farkle should have been invited to the wedding, right? I just feel like that would have made more sense. But I don't know, it's just there. So yeah, but what do you guys think? That's pretty much my overall review of this episode. So what do you guys think of the episode? Comment down below. Did you agree with most of the things I said? Did you not agree? Now, I'm not giving this episode a bad review. I'm just saying it has problems. It's one of those, like, problematic episodes. And there wasn't even a life lesson in this episode. So it was, like, a good opportunity. Bad execution. So what do you guys think about that? Comment down below. Links are there to my other videos. Links are there to my Twitter, Instagram, Vine, vlog channel, and gaming channel. Don't forget to like and favorite this video. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you guys later. Bye-bye.